The fires of Valyria burned bright as Daenerys Targaryen watched her allies work tirelessly. Weapons of obsidian and steel were forged, each blade carrying the legacy of the Dragonlords. The rhythmic clang of hammers echoed through the ancient ruins, but Daenerys' thoughts were elsewhere. A Valyrian elder approached her cautiously.
My queen, we have done what you asked. But I fear the lords of Westeros will not understand your intent. They only see the destruction you left behind.
Daenerys turned to him, her expression steady.
What they see is their fear. They have forgotten what it means to hope. I will remind them.
As she spoke, Drogon let out a thunderous roar, his wings spreading wide over the horizon. Beneath his shadow, her growing army trained. Dothraki riders, freed soldiers, and Valyrian warriors who had sworn loyalty to the last Targaryen queen. Far across the narrow sea, Winterfell braced for the unknown. In the Great Hall, Sansa Stark addressed her council. Daenerys Targaryen does not march alone. Reports speak of a fleet, an army, and Drogon. If she reaches our shores, there will be no stopping her. One of the lords stood, his voice trembling. But what if she brings peace? Can we afford to wage war against a queen who claims to rebuild? Sansa's gaze hardened. She claimed peace once before. What did it bring us? Ashes. In the shadows, Arya Stark listened, her expression unreadable. Later that night, she stood atop the battlements, her dagger gleaming in the moonlight. If she comes, Arya whispered to herself, we'll be ready. Beyond the wall, Jon Snow wandered through the frozen wilderness. Ghost padded silently beside him as the snow fell in heavy sheets. The weight of his choices lingered with every step. He stopped by a frozen stream, gazing into its icy depths. The surface shimmered faintly, almost as if it held visions of the past.
I failed her, but did I fail the realm? Or myself?
Ghost whined softly, breaking Jon's thoughts. He turned and began walking again, his path uncertain, but his burden unchanged. In King's Landing, the small council bickered endlessly. Tyrion Lannister sat silently, staring at a map of Westeros. His hands rested on the hand of the kingpin, its weight heavier than ever. The North will not stand with Daenerys, a lord declared. If she crosses the narrow sea, we must unite the realm against her. Tyrion finally spoke, his voice quiet but firm.
Daenerys doesn't bring war. She brings what Westeros has long forgotten, unity, and that terrifies you.
The room fell silent. As the council dispersed, Tyrion remained seated, pouring himself another goblet of wine. Unity, he muttered, perhaps the greatest illusion of them all. In a hidden chamber, a shadowy figure addressed a gathering of lords. Daenerys Targaryen is a threat. Fire and blood follow her name. If we do not act, she will bring destruction. The lords murmured their agreement. The figure stepped forward, revealing a crossbow tipped with obsidian bolts. Her dragons may fly, but even dragons bleed. A low chuckle rippled through the room as the lords began their plans. Back in Valyria, Daenerys walked the halls of her ancestors. She stopped before a grand mosaic depicting the fall of old Valyria. Beside her, a shadowbinder stood, her crimson mask glowing faintly. There is power here, the shadowbinder whispered. Power that can shape the future or destroy it. Daenerys' hand hovered over the mosaic, her fingers tracing the jagged lines.
I will not let history repeat itself. Fire and blood must heal, not destroy.
She left the hall. A soldier approached her. My queen, we've uncovered something unexpected. He led her to a hidden vault. Inside, the air was thick with magic. An ancient chest lay open, its contents glowing faintly. A dragon egg, dark and unyielding. Daenerys' breath caught.
A gift of fire and a warning.
The next morning, Daenerys stood atop Drogon, her fleet assembled below. Ships stretched as far as the eye could see, their sails bearing the sigil of the Targaryens. She addressed her gathered forces, her voice carrying over the waves.
Westeros will not kneel to fire and blood, but they will kneel to hope. We march not to conquer, but to rebuild.
The crowd erupted in cheers as Drogon roared, his wings casting a shadow over the fleet. As the fleet set sail, the camera panned to the shores of Westeros, where Sansa stood on the battlements of Winterfell, her gaze fixed on the distant horizon. "Let them come," she whispered. "The North does not kneel." Meanwhile, in the shadows of King's Landing, Tyrion gazed out at the city. "A queen's return," he muttered, "always comes with a price." The final shot lingered on Daenerys and Drogon, soaring above the fleet as the sun set. The Dragon Queen's story continues. But will Westeros rise or burn?